Essentially, this is a drummed up case, and which here's the thing. I'm actually surprised the feds didn't approach him before, but I think they did say they did approach him. And what Gilbert's not going to say, I'm going to say, because I haven't spoke to Gilbert, but just kind of knowing the law a bit. Gilbert, they wanted Gilbert to tell. He wasn't a target of the investigation. He was the ancillary part. He was the person who could definitely sink the other people. Also, the other people are not his mans. It's not him and Swaggy P that got indicted. The people who got indicted were some people he was renting his house to. So let me explain the case or explain the situation in general. He's charged, or they're charged with conspiracy of running a illegal gambling ring. What is illegal gambling ring? The illegal gambling ring is him having poker nights at his house. Apparently, he's into poker. There's many videos, many pictures. You could Google it. Gilbert Arenas playing high stakes poker. He's even been out of the country at the poker table. This is a picture of him here playing high stakes poker in the Bahamas. He is a poker player. He likes to play poker. Okay. Apparently, it says Gilbert Arenas poker, whatever. He's had these poker tables. And by the way, I got a poker table here. I just don't I don't got rich friends. So if I invite broke niggas over here, they're going to try to rob me. So I don't invite niggas at all. But if I had rich friends, I probably would have poker nights at my house. Now, here's the thing about this entire thing about illegal gambling. The federal laws in terms of illegal gambling are very interesting. You can play games at your house. You could wager. You could put money up in friendly games that involve gambling. That's not illegal gambling, people. What makes it illegal is if you start operating in the way of a casino. What does that mean? In the way of a casino, it means that you're taking what sometimes, in poker we call sometimes, I think you're taking a rake off of every winning. So you're taking a small percentage, but basically for you hosting the games, for you having amenities, drinks getting provided. Sometimes with these poker games, they'll bring in chicks to massage you while you're playing poker, because sometimes it's a long session. They'll have valet, which, by the way, all of the games that were at Arenas' mansion had these things. You get what I'm saying? So that becomes illegal gambling. You're operating like a casino. Now, if you're just dealing poker with your friends, and here's the thing, too, depending on how much money. It's not clear, and try to read the federal statutes about it. It's not clear how much money that it kind of makes it like, yeah, y'all not friendly betting no more. Y'all are like going way too crazy. But these guys are millionaires, or you would imagine people you know are millionaires. It's not exactly clear on how much money makes it like, all right, this is not friendly no more. But it is the fact that Gilbert Arenas supposedly, and his crib, the people were operating his crib, because again, he wasn't even actually there. But he would rent his crib out to these guys, right? Because they knew he was a poker guy. He would offer his crib up for rent for nights that other people could play poker with their friends. And he had a system already in place. Yo, we're going to get the valet. We're going to get the chick to in bikinis to give you out drinks. We're going to get the massage girl to give you massages. We're going to get this and third. And the way how it goes is that this is the rake back that or not rake back, but you take this, I think it's called rake. You take this amount off the top of every bet and it kind of covers for everything. That's how it works. Now, honestly, here's the thing. I think the government was targeting this Israeli person, and however they could get him, they were going to get him. They're just getting him this way to probably try to squeeze him for some other shit, honestly, if you ask me. Gilbert gets caught up in it. They wanted Gilbert to snitch. Now, I don't know this for a fact, but I kind of know this for a fact. They interviewed Gilbert Arenas, and Gilbert Arenas caught an extra charge because when they interviewed him, he lied to investigators, and that becomes a charge. When you lie to a federal investigator, you get a charge. So he got a charge. What I believe they would have said is that, Gilbert, we know it's your house, blah, blah, blah. Yes, we're going to indict you as well, but if you cooperate with us, you're going to just basically go home on some probation, my nigga. It's not that serious. You're not the target of the investigation, but you could help us sink these guys. When Gilbert talked to them, Gilbert lied. So now they don't want you to snitch anymore because you're lying, right? So they basically get him afterwards. So they get the main guy and they get Gilbert afterwards. I do have the documentation here. We're going to read through it real quick. If you guys don't know, you still could go to
so he just kind of breaking it down, you know what I mean? Because I don't know all the details. So he has the actual paperwork and he's going to read the actual indictment and all that stuff. So this is just us, kind of get, I guess, the in scoop on what's going on.
The academy.blog, the academy.blog, if you want to see any court filings or indictments or civil proceedings about whatever your favorite situations are that we normally covered. And the write-up on, the media outlets is that 4 other men were arrested, these guys, and they were accused of running the poker games, which featured Pot Limit Omaha, among other illegal games. They're accused of collecting a house fee. That's the problem, house fee. From those participating in the games and hiring women who serve drinks, provided massage. Yep, these are things that you would get at a casino. When you're in a casino, this happens. But you can't do it for pay as a offspring to the gambling. because now it's like a gambling company. That's their business model. And they were offering companionship to the poker players. So basically, they brought in escorts to suck their dick after they, you lost, right? Now, again, the person who they wanted is this guy, Yevgeny Shamash. I'm probably fucking up the word. He's a suspected organized crime figure from Israel. Now, it's kind of interesting. Remember, this is all political chat. This is way bigger than Gilbert Arenas. Okay, Gilbert Arenas is over there just cracking jokes on LeBron or whoever. It's bigger than him. U.S.'s relationship with either the Mossad or really just Israel in general, it's an ongoing fluctuating thing. For the U.S. to actually target this person from Israel without having Israel get that person for them kind of tells you a lot about their prospective relationship with Israel just on a global level in terms of crime. I'll just leave it there for now. So other people there's a guy who's involved in organized crime. It's an organized crime figure from Israel, but we have a good relationship with Israel. You didn't have to indict him on a poker game to get him. So they wanted this guy. They got him, right? Then these other people were arrested in connection, and they said he was accused of trafficking wins and losses, distributing chips, and whatever. All 6 men will appear in the rain downtown. Okay, so we all know Gilbert Arenas got let out. We now find out the indictment was actually delivered after a June 2025 grand jury. These were the people. This is the head guy. They usually put the head guy at the top. His name is Gior. That's his nickname. Then we have Eugene. We have Elizabeth.
So these are the people that they are actually looking for. Oh, Silly Gilly just, wrong time, wrong place. So they not after Silly Gilly. They after these other people. So Silly Gilly is at the bottom. So the main people is at the top.
Alyssa, okay. We have YC. We have Gilbert Arenas. And then we have 2 other people who probably are very speculative and low-level people. So let's kind of go into it. This is how many pages? 24. It's not that long of an indictment, but let's get into it in terms of what it has to do with Gilbert Arenas. So they're saying that this is after 2021, but they're saying this went on until 2022. Okay, that's very interesting. Think about this, chat. And this is what I'm saying, that this is something Gilbert Arenas did years ago. This is not some current behavior. They're saying this happened years ago. This conspiracy, right? They're saying that this Georgian nigga, the one they wanted, this person, Gilbert Arenas, they all conspired with each other, okay, to operate an illegal gambling business. Now, here's the thing. They're saying that it's a conspiracy. Remember, the conspiracy, everybody has to know. They're saying Gilbert Arenas clearly knew because Gilbert Arenas himself did similar things and knew that they were renting his house out for this elaborate gambling private night, but it was illegal since they were doing all these other stuff with it. Okay, cool. So they say defendant Arenas would rent out, give me a second. The defendant Arenas would rent out a residence located on for the purpose of hosting these illegal games. At his direction, he would stage the house. So they're saying, so defendant Katz, and I guarantee Katz probably come underneath. Where's Katz? Where's Katz? Okay, no, he's right above. So they're saying that Gilbert Arenas would tell somebody named Katz, maybe like, I don't know, whoever, maybe an assistant, I don't know who this is, would stage the house to host the games and find co-conspirators to host poker games. So it looked like he was trying to have an Airbnb for poker games because he realized he has a dope pad that, again, they're probably going to list the property. And I don't want to get too much into Gilbert's business because I think he still lives there, but we could Google how much it's worth. Here's the thing. I'm pretty sure Gilbert's rich as fuck. He owns his crib, but these niggas will pay up to $30,000, $40,000 for a weekend, right? If they get to use your house. I'm pretty sure Gilbert doesn't have a shit ton of family that lives there. Like, I know he has kids, but they're probably either going to college or somewhere else. He doesn't have a wife from what I know. He probably has a girlfriend, but like, shit, they probably...
And he might have somebody in the pool house.
Have other spots. So when you get to have a big ass house and you're having it in an area that is well coveted, you might just go to your second house and let people rent it out for a weekend and you get like $20,000. That's some good Airbnb shit, except you're not renting out to niggas that's about to have a party because you rented out to a bunch of niggas on Airbnb. They're going to like, if they can afford that, they're going to have 300 people up in there fucking up your shit. You rented out to some dudes who want to do some fly shit. All they want to do is gamble half the night and fuck some girls in your guest room. You lock the rest of the rooms up. I'm pretty sure, yeah. And you get paid 20 grand for a weekend? Fuck, why not, right? So... I guess
why not? But it's still illegal. All right, it's still illegal. It's not like it's just a regular poker night. How they're doing it, they're establishing like it's a real casino, right? So that's the problem. If they just would have came over and just did like a regular poker night, all right, cool. But the fact that they're taking a percentage off of this and off of that, they're orchestrating as if it's a real casino, right? So that's the problem. That was going on. So here we go. It says
these defendants, so these are the other defendants that's not Gilbert and his man's cats, they would manage the games and they would play
What's up, OG?
Omaha, which is a particular poker game, along with other illegal gambling games at the house to profit off the operation. And this is the problem, right? So
right here,
gambling at your house is not illegal. I got to say that it's not illegal because I see Boosie say something, say blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yo, Boosie, you're admitting to a crime. Like, dice games are not illegal, but if you're saying that you're taking a fee, it is illegal. Don't get online and say, we all do it. That's not a legal thing, right? It's not saying, oh, that was a crime. We all be doing this shit. No, you're just snitching on yourself. So Boosie, I don't know if you saw what Boosie said. Like, I was like, yo, Boosie, somebody got to stop Boosie from typing. Again, it's not about what you deem normal. It's what the law deems illegal. He says the Gilbert Arenas charge is bullshit. He said a poker game at his spot. That's not gambling. That's not illegal. And one off hands played. That's illegal. That's illegal. You can't turn a friendly commercial game, a friendly game with friends into a commercial business. Right. If you're winning off the hands played, that's legal. He says, what the fuck? That's the same as getting a cut off a dice game that's at your homes to millionaires. Boosie, that is a crime, my brother. You've just admitted to a crime. This is what I'm saying. Boosie gets online and says some shit. The feds are now going to start looking at you. You just admitted that you're doing a crime. If you're doing dice games at your crib and you're getting a cut, you're not supposed to say,
dumbass.
Bro, if you say to your friend, yo, I got the Lakers, and they say, yo, well I got the Warriors, and one person wins and you just give them the money, this is a friendly game, cool. That is fine. Now, then, if you do that with a third party involved, or both of y'all submit y'all money to a third party friend and that friend takes 10%, that's illegal gambling. Yeah. That's just really what it is. So you can wager with.
So y'all understand what he's saying, right? If you just do a friendly wager, be like, all right, let's play Madden for $500, and there's nothing wrong with that. But then if you get a third party and that third party gets a percentage of it, you're operating as if, that's the illegal part. But friendly wagers is a cool thing. But you can't have someone take a percentage off of the gambling, because then that is considered, illegal. So that's the problem.
With your friend. But so anyway, he says that's a cleaning fee. Yeah, that's a cleaning fee, and that's an indictment fee too. Okay, somebody got to tell this to Boosie, please.
An indictment.
So you know how many successful athletes, rappers, coaches, businessmen, and all call their friends over to fucking gamble? That's true. When I bought this house, I have a big ass it's like a man cave down there. Y'all seen? I used to film the at home off the records from it. It's a bar and it's like a pool casino area where I have a poker table down there myself. There's nothing wrong with having those games at home. The problem is if I invite people over and I say every hand I'm taking $10. Yeah, that's a problem. That's illegal. So these are ex-professionals who enjoy gambling as a hobby. This has been going on since the early 90s. This is another tactic to take us down. I'm not racist, but they're not going to lock up a white athlete entertainer for playing poker at his damn house with his millionaire friends. Now, I hate to be counteracting everything Boosie's saying. The targeted investigation is not Gilbert. Yeah, they didn't pick on Gilbert. Gilbert got caught up in this because it happened to be his house. They wanted this guy who was an organized crime person that probably on a global level, they couldn't get Israel to.
This ain't got to do nothing about race. They trying to get those other people. They really not trying to get old Silly Gilly. He just happened to be there because he's stupid. They trying to get the other people.
Indict or anybody else to lock up, and they couldn't have anything locally to lock him up on if he's organized crime guy. So they had to find something to put on him. The only thing they could find is illegal gambling. When they hit him with illegal gambling, they got to hit everybody else with it. Gilbert just happens to be in it. So Gilbert just got tied in with some Israelis, if you ask me. Says, not
for being stupid.
Race, but so if it was a white athlete, I think they would, okay? Because again, they weren't targeting Gilbert. They were targeting this other guy.
Makes sense.
His name was on the poker table. Well, yeah, he was staging the whole thing. Get the fuck out of here. Them houses be for decorations. Every poker table I've ever saw at the house had their logo and name on it. Facts.
What's up, Miss Chicago?
Again, I think they're going to give Gilbert another chance to cooperate or do something like that. If he doesn't...
What's good?
Wait, what happened? What are you talking about? What? All right. Did you hear about the murder connection to this whole thing? Oh, well, hopefully I hear it. So Gilbert knows not.
Now, a rumor is that there's a murder connection. I don't know if probably that has nothing to do with Silly Gilly. That might have to do with the other people, but you got to be careful, who you surround yourself with, because you might get caught in the crossfire. So allegedly there's like some type of murder. Somebody got murdered or something that's tied with those other people. So I don't know if Silly Gilly got anything to do with it. I don't know, but hey.
Not to open his mouth about no damn Israel mafia. If they could get sent to Hezbollah with those pagers, I watch a whole documentary about that. They could get Gilbert. Okay. So, let me get back to the indictment. So cool. So these guys are running it, and they're saying there's a fee for the house that would charge either from each pot or a percentage of a fixed amount per hand, okay? You're going to see a lot of these defendants. They would invite other players. So they were renting out Gilbert's house. They would invite other players. Gilbert isn't really in most of this. Look, they would hire young women who in exchange for tips. So Gilbert wasn't even doing this. Gilbert would stage the house, but they would do all this other stuff. They would hire young women who in exchange for tips would serve drinks, provide massages, offer companionship to players at the house. The same guys would charge a woman a tax, so they would take part of what the woman got. That's a percentage of the woman's earnings for working the games. These defendants would hire chefs, valets, armed security for the poker games. So we're seeing Arenas is not even mentioned here. He's only mentioned for renting out the house.
They are literally operating like a full casino. They got security. They got waitresses. They taking tips from the waitress. They doing massage. So that's the problem, right? They really operating like it's a casino. It's not just a friendly, wager. Like they really acting like they trying to mimic a casino, which is illegal.
And this guy, who is Arena's friend, would stage the house and then find co-conspirators, okay? So all they're saying is Gilbert knew what was going on. Defendant, whatever, would work as a chip runner at the games, in the capacity would track the winnings and losses and distribute poker chips to players and pay employees, okay? Now, here are the overt acts. So they outline the conspiracy. The overt acts are these. And in every conspiracy, there are criminal acts and overt acts, usually predicate offenses and overt acts. So the overt acts is Katz texted Arenas whether he was still planning to doing your own game. Arenas says, I might throw a few games in my house, though, referring to the games so Gilbert used to do it himself with his friends. Arenas texts Katz that the house would be available to host the games, the amount of rent Gilbert wanted. So he told him what amount he would want to rent the house, and the number of games he was planning hosting per week. While discussing staging the house, Katz texted Arenas a picture of a poker table with the words "The Lion's Den" printed on the table. Arenas texted the defendants a cat picture with the gold trimmer poker table with the words "Arenas Poker Club" printed on the top of the table with the image of a basketball player with a jersey labeled Arenas with the number 0. So it looked like they were trying to figure out how to design the house to look like an actual casino. They wanted the Lion's Den as that was going to be the name of their, gambling spot. And essentially, Gilbert sent back a picture saying, yo, I already got a poker table that says Arenas Poker Club. What's wrong with that? Arenas says his financial advisor was asking for rent for the illegal games, right? So obviously Arenas probably didn't tell his financial advisor that they're doing illegal poker games there. He probably was saying, oh, they're renting out for a weekend to do friendly shit. And his financial advisor say, yo, we should get rent. It should be acknowledged that they're subleasing your house. Katz sends Arenas a text message saying that Arenas owed Katz $14,000 for tables and chairs as startup expenses for the house. Arenas texted the defendant he had the $14,000 for him. Arenas texted the defendant that he wanted a rake. Right? Yeah, so he wanted a rake from the
got all the
this is where they get Arenas is at. So this is where they're saying Arenas.
So this is where they're saying, so when they took him in for questioning years ago, he lied and said that he didn't know anything about it. But they're like, nigga, we got your text messages. So this is the conversation that he was having with those other people. So clearly he knew what the hell was going on. So this might get him in trouble because when they took him for questioning years ago, he lied and said that he ain't know nothing about it. But nigga, they got your text messages right here.
This knew about it and wanted parts. He said he wanted a rake from the games hosted there for his birthday. So he had a game for his birthday, and he wanted a rake for the games played there for his birthday, and he wanted to go to the mother of a deceased former lover. So some chick he was fucking died, and he wanted the rake money to go to that mother, okay?
Damn.
They rent the house to the defendant, so now they meet the defendant. So in 2022, they texted...
Wait, what the fuck? Wait, what?
So this is where they're saying Arenas knew about it and wanted parts. He said he wanted a rake from the games hosted there for his birthday. So he had a game for his birthday, and he wanted a rake for the games played there for his birthday, and he wanted to go to the mother of a deceased former lover.
Damn.
So some chick he was fucking died, and he wanted the rake money to go to that mother. Okay.
Damn.
They rent the house to the defendant, so now they meet the defendant. So in 2022, they Katz texted Arenas that Tornowski was ready to host the games at the house on Wednesdays. Then a couple days later, a week later, said that Arenas has spoken with Ternowski and that they were ready to start hosting the games there. The defendant sent over various contacts, a text advertising the game, tonight's a new place. So it looked like these guys were doing this illegal gambling stuff before, which, Chad, you don't have to read between the lines. I can just say it directly here. The feds were watching this Israeli guy. They're watching him for years because that wasn't the first time he started doing it. It was the first time in 2022, top of 2022, he started doing it at Gilbert Arenas' place. Right. So he even sends out a text, tonight we have a new place, right? So they've been doing this gambling shit. The feds been watching him, but now they move it to a new place. It says we're going to start at 8 o'clock. So Ternowski sent the defendant Cohen a text advertising the illegal poker game at the Gable House and asked the defendant to send players to the game. On February 16, 2022, the defendant Katz texted the defendant the gate code to the house. Okay, cool. He texted the defendant Cohen a pay/owe sheet showing the amount of the rate, tax charge, expense incurred, and So this is how they're setting it all up. You're going to see pretty much all of this is absent of Arenas, because Arenas basically, he only wanted a rake to be charged on his game, but he just wanted to charge rent for renting the spot out. But to get Gilbert in this, they're going to show that Gilbert has a pattern of doing illegal games, right? Because he's operating with rakes. Okay, cool. All right, cool. These are not people, this is not Arenas. None of this has to do with Arenas. They hire dealers. None of this has to do with Arenas. Arenas would know nothing about this. What I would imagine that they're squeezing Gilbert's arm for is, we want all your text messages. We want security footages. We want any type of surveillance. It's your house, so you probably have info, maybe books that were left there that maybe had ledgers of who owes what or how much, blah, blah, blah. We need you to help take this guy down. They talk to Gilbert. Gilbert lies. They charge Gilbert for lying. We're going to see that as well.
Now, see, that's the thing that I don't know if these people are powerful. Well, obviously, they must be powerful. It seems like that the federal government want them. So if Silly Gilly snitches, what they going to do about him snitching, to put them in jail? So he's in a sticky situation. So I'm sure there's a reason why he lied the first time, because he don't want to get caught up, with these people. So, if Silly Gilly helps the government put them in jail, they know where he live, man. They know where I'm sure they know everything about Silly Gilly. So, I don't know, man. Silly Gilly's in a tough spot.
Well, actually, if we scroll up, this is page 9. Let's scroll back up. Gilbert gets charged with making false statements. So, making false statements. What the fuck? Somebody got marriage fraud? What?
Marriage fraud.
What the fuck? Damn. All right, let me see. Okay, we're at 9. All right, and then pretty much Arenas is not mentioned here. He's not mentioned here for a while. Okay. Okay, so there's going off the statute. So the count 2 is a conspiracy.
Oh no, yeah. Just saying, he's reading the actual documents of the. This is the actual indictment paperwork from what the feds listed. So this is accurate information. This is their case against the individuals and Silly Gilly. So this is actual paperwork.
Count 1's a conspiracy. Count 2 is, what is this? Count 2 is okay, I could just Google it. Why didn't I just say it? It's an odd indictment. Sorry. Oh, it won't copy and paste. 18 USC 1955 2A. 18 USC 1955 2A. Let's see. We'll see what statute that is. Okay, so it's just prohibition of illegal gambling business. So this is the gambling business now. So they got charged for conspiracy to commit a crime, right? Which is gambling. And then they got charged for the crime, gambling. Okay?
It said that girl that died, family, they said they know what happened to the girl and it was foul. Oh, so that's what that. Oh, okay. So, that's interesting. So it seemed like Silly Gilly wanted a percentage off of that so they could give it to the mother. So that's where this murder talk is about. That's interesting.
So there's a conspiracy, then that, then see count 3. Let's see 18 USC. Okay, so this is Arenas. He gets charged for lying to the cops or lying to investigators. So so they basically talk to him.
So yeah, so the feds talked to Gilbert 3 years ago, September 9th, 2022. So this is where he might get in trouble by lying to the feds. So, you know, I don't know.
And he basically, look, here we go. Ooh. On or about September 9, 2022 in Los Angeles County within the Central District of California, in a petition seeking to return the funds seized by Homeland Security, right? So I guess Homeland Security seized money, right? From the master bedroom of a residence, right? In a matter of within the jurisdiction of the executive branch, Gilbert Arenas made the following materially false statement. So for whatever reason, they did a raid or they somehow got money from the master bedroom of Gilbert Arenas' house. Now you have to imagine having cash in your house. This is why it's always like kind of skeptical. If you do illegal shit and you have money, when they seize the money, you got to make sure every dollar didn't come from illegal shit. Even if you have a legal business. So Gilbert Arenas could be like, yo, I have $100 million.
You say what? They said that the lady was at the gambling place with those men and she disappeared. Oh, damn. Ooh-wee. I don't know nothing about that, but yeah, apparently something happened. So I don't know too much information on that, but what's up, Pinky Pink?
In the back, like kind of skeptical. If you do illegal shit and you have money, when they seize the money, you got to make sure every dollar didn't come from illegal shit. Even if you have a legal business. So Gilbert Arenas could be like, yo, I have $100 million in the bank from basketball and podcasting. They're going to be like, but you do illegal gambling. How do we know the money's from there and not there? So when they seize the money, you got to go through a process of trying to get it back. So it looks like Gilbert got money seized. Did they say how much? They say how much? He was trying to get the funds.
I remember when KB and Gilbert was going at it, he used to talk about that he got money like $60,000 or $100,000 in cash at his home. So they probably took that money that he was talking about to KB, you know, because I remember Silly Gilly talking about, you know, that he just got money stashed, you know, cash in his house. So they probably took all that money that he had stashed at his house because they probably thinking those are the earnings from the illegal gambling business. So they got to take it.
Turn. Okay. And basically the United States Customs and Border Protection, Gilbert Arenas made the following materially false statements of misrepresentation to the United States Customs and Border Protection, knowing that the statement was untrue. He falsely stated that he was not involved in whatever was going on at the party. So that's what he said. I got no idea. That's what he said. Referring to the illegal gambling at the venue on July 19, 2022. In fact, he then knew that he had knowingly provided gambling equipment. Remember, his friend spent $14,000 to go get the equipment. And then he asked Arenas for payment for the $14,000 to stage this thing. It says and he also, they're saying he lied that he rented out the spot to be used to host illegal poker games. Okay,
so he lied.
He was collecting rent from the host, right? So they claim that's the lie, right? So he went to the cops and he literally said, "When the cops
what the fuck? I don't have to deal with this shit." You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not getting paid. I was helping him make money. Hey, if they want to lose out on, you know, their money maker, their numbers bringer, putting my big forehead on that goddamn thumbnail.
He's a dummy.
Adulwale Show super chatted $4.99. Thing is, he went up on multiple YouTube platforms detailing these poker games. How does he prove he did not know?
He's a dummy. Listen, they got his text messages of his conversation with the person setting up the event. So, Gilbert didn't think that the feds had the text messages, but that's why he's being charged for lying to him, because they already had his text messages and, okay, we're going to set up this night, we're going to set up that night. So that's why he might get in trouble for lying. So I don't know, because he's stupid. Big dummy.
Or not interviewed him, because they didn't interview him. They didn't run up on him because the investigation was still going on. Remember, they didn't indict him until 2025. They didn't indict the guy. So they didn't want to make no type of so the cops were moving really shrewd. They didn't want to spook nobody. So what they did, I don't know, this probably has to do something with some other shit. They seized the money from Gilbert. Gilbert was trying to get the money back. In Gilbert trying to get the money back, they sat and talked to Gilbert to say, prove to us the money that you have is legit. This is a sworn. This is supposed to be. Well, it's not under the penalty of perjury, but pretty much it is damn near because he's getting charged with it. But it's called lying to a federal investigator. They interview him to ask about the money. They said, "Is the money from here?" No, it's not. He probably told them some other places from. So they ask him, "This ain't gambling money, right? This ain't from. We know you play poker. This ain't from poker, right?" And he's like, "What, poker? No." He's like, "You don't be doing no poker shit, and this is not illegal money, right?" He says no. He says no. So when he says no, they actually don't charge him then. They probably said, "We're going to see." And I don't know if he got the money back. He's probably not going to speak on that. So they talked to him in 2022. They claim he lied. Now, I think they talked to him then to see if he's willing to flip. But if he's not willing to flip voluntarily, which means he would have said to the cops, "Yo, I give y'all everything. That's the nigga who did it." That wasn't his demeanor. He was like, "What? What are y'all talking about? Huh? I don't know. What? Like, typical nigga. Because his demeanor was that they didn't want to torch their own investigation by saying, you're going to get charged, so snitch or else. They let him go. It's like a catch and release. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Because they keep investigating for 3 years, right?
Damn.
So cool. So then they have another conspiracy, and this is 18 USC 371. Let's see what that is. 18 USC 371. Sorry, 371.
So what the feds did, they bring him in for a questioning. They know that he lying, and they're like, "All right, cool, go ahead, leave." So old silly Gilly think all right, everything cool, and all right, I'm back to business. Nah, nigga, they still watch you. They want you to fuck up some more, right? Do you think the feds just gonna bring you in and just let you go and be like, "All right, everything's cool"? Nah, they just want you to fuck up again, so they can collect more evidence on you.
One, conspiracy to commit offense to defraud the United States. Okay, so this is probably because one of them is a international. One of them is a international citizen, and I think this is where maybe the marriage conspiracy comes into the play as well. Yeah,
What's
citizen
up,
of Israel. Yeah, so they're saying you're defrauding. Enter into a sham marriage. Okay, so yeah, they've been on this guy's head top for a while. They're saying this Israeli crime international figure got with a woman trying to, and by the way, they charge her as well, Kojo Shari. He tried to get citizenship. Now, you got to remember, they were probably watching this guy from a long time ago because they already are saying he's a organized crime figure in Israel. And he's coming over here doing illegal gambling and also trying to get his U.S. citizenship. So they were watching him for a while. So they get him with a fraud marriage as well. They're saying that he would provide financial support. So they're actually hitting him with a conspiracy, which is, cool. Damn. Wow. Shit. It would submit to sworn immigration form containing false statements. It would make verbal written statements. Okay. Defendants. Okay. Cool. All right. So here's the overt acts they married. It said defendant sent defendant a check for this. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. They're just targeting this guy. Like, they're not really trying to be like, "Oh, you did an illegal marriage." They're targeting this guy. You get what I'm saying? By the way, all this happens in the same year, right? So the same year of all this happening is when this dude, he's doing illegal gambling. They're already watching him. He's in LA. He needs to figure out his status. Remember, this is when Biden's there, so, the reason why he goes to LA is a sanctuary city, so you could be illegal, whatever, nobody gives a fuck. So what they do is like, all right, cool, let's make sure that we could get our citizenship before, Trump comes in 2024. So he marries a chick, apparently they're lying, all this type of stuff. They interview, and they make this statement that they're living together at a residence, which they weren't, and blah, blah, blah. So, and then the count 5 is, what? Okay. Yeah, no, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is a Trump initiative DOJ. This is a DOJ initiative agenda-like indictment. The agenda for Trump's DOJ is close borders, deport illegal immigrants, and weed out anybody who has a criminal background that are bad elements from other places coming here. This guy might have slipped through the cracks, so they indict him, add a couple other charges, and they're claiming that the bad thing he was doing, because they don't have him. Somebody said there was a murder connection. I don't see the murder connection. Is there? Yeah, USCIS. This is all. Yeah, this is citizenship shit. Yeah, they're saying like he basically just lied and blah blah and submitted false documents, and then he says, oh, there's a statement that says, "Do you intend to engage in illegal gambling of any form, or prostitution, or bootlegging, or the sale, blah blah blah," and they said no, but he knew then that he was going to engage in illegal gambling, so he lied on a form. Usually lying on federal forms, that's a charge. Kodak caught that when he bought a weapon and they asked, "Are you a convicted felon?" And he actually checked the box that said no. They gave him the gun, and he said even though it was an error, or have you been convicted of a crime that you could serve over a year? That's why Kodak went to jail, but Trump pardoned him. This guy, you clearly could tell, is not going to get a pardon, right? Okay, so there's another count 7. This is what is this about? Okay. This is more about. Oh, you filled out another form. Yeah, these are petty things, but that's what I'm saying. This is a Trump agenda indictment. They think this guy is a potential terrorist. Okay, I know it says organized crime, but he's a potential terrorist on behalf of either Israel or some radicalized group. This guy is trying to come to the United States, get citizenship, and blend in. And they've been watching the nigga for a while, and they're saying, get the fuck on out of here. Okay? So forfeiture, I think they're going to say, they're going to try to forfeit, and they're going to try to send him back. Yeah, I don't know if he got citizenship, but they probably, if the investigation was going on back then, they probably lagged his citizenship, so he never got it, honestly. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Okay, so all the forfeiture stuff, and this was signed off on. This is the U.S. attorney. That's the U.S. attorney. Let's Google that U.S. attorney. I'm gonna tell you why we'll Google it. Bilal Isali. Yes, U.S. attorney. Cool. He's an acting U.S. attorney. Yeah, he started serving in 2025. Yes, if you guys don't know, the U.S. attorneys are pretty much a part. They're a branch of. They work underneath the U.S. Attorney General under the United States Department of Justice. They're usually going to operate and carry out the mission of that administration. He gets put in place in 2025. ICE, borders, illegal immigrants, and all that type of shit is a huge thing for Trump. And yeah, this is, they probably identify this guy as a potential criminal. They're getting him out of here instantly. Okay. Interesting. Right? Okay. So that's what it is. And by the way, this is probably why Maureen Comey lost her job in the Diddy case, because the guy who brought that indictment was a Biden guy. That was a Biden guy. So that attorney, U.S. attorney, was a Biden guy. He stepped down, okay? He stepped down at that point. Hold on, let me see. My dog food might be here. Hold it.
So in the grand scheme of things, I think that might be it.
So this U.S. attorney is probably taking, they probably have a list or a watch list of people who they're like, yo, if this person even fucking drives over the speed limit, let's deport this motherfucker. And that's how Gilbert Arenas got caught up in it. So if you ask me, Gilbert Arenas says, let's look at what he's really facing. Gilbert Arenas, lying to federal agent sentence. Let's see, what does that actually carry? It could give you up to 5 years or potentially 8 years if you made, okay, so 8 years if it's crimes related to terrorism. Oh, sorry, you can't see. Crimes related to terrorism or sex offenses, but 5 years if it's otherwise. So lying to a federal prosecutor, not federal prosecutor, federal agent is 5 years. Okay, perfect. And then illegal gambling federal sentence, that's gonna do, okay,
5 years.
Illegal gambling, okay, up to 5 years as well. But obviously, these charges are headed up by conspiracy. Conspiracy is always going to be 20 years. You don't even got to Google it. So the conspiracy thing, Gilbert is in that. I'm pretty sure they're gonna drop Gilbert. He's gonna take a plea. They're gonna drop. Mark, y'all can clip this. They're gonna drop him from the conspiracy. He's gonna plead guilty for lying to a federal agent. He's going to either pay a fine, probation, or maybe some type of house arrest. They're not gonna seek to incarcerate him. From what I know, he's not a felon, right? I don't think so.
No, he is.
They're gonna give him a firm slap on the wrist, and remember, illegal gambling is 5 years, lying to a prosecutor 5 years. The conspiracy is 20 years, or so the conspiracy for gambling is 20 years. They only want this Israeli niggas for it, and they're gonna take the Israeli nigga and kick him all the way back to motherfucking wherever the hell Netanyahu is from, and have them niggas over there fighting where they need to be. Leave us alone. That's what Trump is on. Leave us the fuck alone, nigga. Whatever the fuck y'all got going on over there, nigga. Y'all go fight over that bullshit. Leave us alone. Okay? So that's what's happening, and Gilbert's caught up in it, but he'll be fine. Okay? No jail time. I'll be surprised if they even, because he's gonna plea out. He's not taking this to trial. He's gonna plea out. Yo, all right, what y'all gonna do? Hey, check this out. Because you profited, that's what we're going to say. You profited this amount. We do felt like you lied to us. We're going to drop the conspiracy charge. We don't think you were in it with him all along, but you did do some illegal gambling. Plead guilty to the illegal gambling. Now, Gilbert's lawyers are going to probably be good on this, because I think illegal gambling is going to be a felony, I believe. It's a felony, right? So if he's not a convicted felon, they don't want him to be a convicted felon. I don't know if lying to prosecutors or... Wait,
he is a felon, right? I think he's already a felon, right? So that may work against him.
Lying to federal agent a felony? I think it is. Okay, yeah, it is. So he's gonna have to. They're not gonna drop everything. So I guess he is gonna become a felon. But
he's already a felon, I think.
Fuck it. He's gonna be able to still do his podcast and still do his thing.
Yes,
right?
Gilbert.
All right. All right, so that's a Gilbert Arenas thing. He got out on $50,000 bond. You can tell that.
Well, it says that he's not a felon. Shit, I just Googled it. Gilbert Arenas is currently not a felon. He is facing some serious charges related to illegal running. Okay, so it says that he's not a felon. I don't know. Okay, well, there we go. I just Googled it. Not currently a felon. Gilbert Arenas is currently not a felon, but he is facing serious legal charges related to allegedly running a illegal gambling business. All right, well, he's not a felon. All right, well, he's not a felon.
The prosecutors weren't even trying to push to hold him, right? The top guy here, this Gershon guy, they're going to say this guy's an organized crime syndicate guy. Like, they're going to say that. They're not going to let him out, right? Yeah. Okay.
All right. So
they said Gilbert's already cooked. All right, if he's not going to do jail time. I'm telling you, he's not the target of their investigation. And before he does that, I don't think he's going to have to cooperate, but he's just going to plea out.
Well, if he pleads out, he's definitely going to be a felon.
Okay.
Because he lied to the feds. So.
Okay. So that's.
All right. So that's that. All right. All right. So hopefully that break it down a little bit more for y'all. You know, hopefully that kind of put everything in perspective. To be honest, you know, it just seemed like if anything, he'll be charged with lying to the feds and the illegal gambling. I don't know, you know, they maybe drop that and just say, hey, plead guilty to lying to us, you know, pay a fine, and everything be okay. Now, do I think he's going to go to jail? I don't know. I'm not no lawyer. I don't know nothing. Listen, I'm just going by what information is being said. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting because his court date is set in February, right? No, September. So it's fast. It's like in a couple of months. So he's I think his trial is in September. So honestly, just in my opinion, yeah, IRS definitely want their cut. So he's definitely gonna have to pay up. You know, they definitely want their cut. Do I think he's gonna face some jail time? Honestly, I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. Probably not. But he gonna definitely have to come off some money though. He gonna definitely have to come off some money. It seemed like they're trying to get more information from those other people. Now, the question is, what is he gonna do to get those charges dropped? You know, is he gonna give up some information? And if he does give up the feds information to put those people in jail, then, all right, yeah, you ain't gonna go to jail, but you might be facing some consequences snitching on these people, on these other people. So, you know, that's something that he gonna have to deal with. But hey, we have to wait and see. All right. So I just want to make this quick little live. All right. Yeah, you know, I don't know, you know, even though he may not technically facing any jail time, but snitching on those type of people, I don't know, man. Snitching on those type of people, you know, damn if you do, damn if you don't. You know, he's caught in a sticky situation. So even though he may not be facing jail time, and he might get a slap on the wrist, and he might just have to pay a hefty fine, and you know, say, all right, you got me. Here's a couple $100,000 or $1 million. I don't know how much, but they know where he lives. They probably know everything about him. You know, they probably know everything about him. So, yeah. Hey, we have to see what happens. All right. So what'd you say? 2010 gun charges. He pleaded guilty. He was sentenced to 2 days in jail, 2 years probation, and 50-game suspension. Yeah. Putting his family in danger. Right. Those mobsters do work. Exactly. He was arrested, including guilty in 2010. Exactly. What's up, Francis? IRS definitely want they cut. So yeah, man. So other than that, I'll be done for the rest of the day, man. Got some things to do. I'll see y'all tomorrow. All right, I would definitely see y'all tomorrow. But I just wanted to go over this video, just kind of give y'all some more information on the situation, and that's it. All right, so salute to y'all. Appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. All right, I'm done for the day. Just wanted to do this quick little live just to give y'all, some more information on the current situation. And yeah, man, appreciate y'all, and I'll holla at y'all later. All right, peace.